What's up everybody, I'm Abatage and welcome to an Assault Android Cactus update. That's right, it's been a little bit too long since we've had any Assault Android Cactus on this channel because I do enjoy playing it and I do enjoy showing it off to the world. But it's been a case of I haven't really been getting very many high scores lately because I'm a bit shit. I think I've pretty much blown my wad on high score videos for the moment, so that's why it hasn't really been featured a lot lately. It's been non-existent, to be honest. But let's get off that. But there was an update that came in yesterday. I think it should be yesterday by the time this goes up, and I'm going to look at that because it's pretty cool and it's pretty interesting, to be honest. Let's get old Holly here and then let's go through the list. So we've got 3 new enemy types, which we'll have a look at when we jump in. There's the Reaper, the Fido that drags you around, little fucker that he is, and the Bubbler, and they're all a pain in the frickin' ass. Yeah, they're pretty cool though. I do like them. They're just, oh man. Well, we'll see when we get in. New visuals on Heat, which is this one right here. And that's been reworked. Assembly and Focus have been rebuilt. So that's Assembly, that's Focus. Their leaderboards were reset. My S rating stayed on there, which is a nice surprise. I don't know if they're keeping the, you know, if you get an S or an S+, maybe it'll stay on your record, but it's not on the leaderboard, because the leaderboard definitely did get reset, and I've played both of these a couple of times to try and just see what the deal is, and yeah, the leaderboard was reset, but my S rank stayed there, so cool. We've got a new white box level, Relay. As you can see, I've got an S on it. We'll check it out in a tick. This could be a fairly long video because there's a lot of different updates in this one. Like there's 2 new levels, because there's also Repeater, which, as you can see, the best I've got on that is a B. This is an annoying fucking level, but we'll talk about that when we look at it. We've also got new music for World 5, which is all these along here, which we shall have a quick look at, perhaps in the end, but perhaps not. But mainly we'll look at the new levels, and at the same time we'll be looking at the new enemy types and that sort of thing. So, it should be fun. There's also a whole bunch of bug fixes and balancing and all that kind of thing. Check out the links in the description for the Steam page and check out the news. They always release a good update list whenever they update the game. So let's jump into Relay. Now, Relay is... I've played through it a few times and managed to get an S on it, so I'm pretty proud of that. But it reminds me a lot of Checkpoint. So as you can see, as we move through, it's fairly linear, as opposed to being an arena. And yeah, it kind of blocks you from progressing backwards as you move through, in the same way that Checkpoint does. Like once you get past certain points in Checkpoint, it blocks the previous bit of the map that you went to. And this isn't going to be a very good run because, hey, I'm commentating, so dig it. If you want to see a good run, keep an eye out for maybe some high score videos that I'll be working on in the future. But anyway, this is, yeah, it builds itself as you go, or drops away, I guess, as you go, which is always a nice feature that Assault Android Cactus is, in my mind, it's one of their main kind of features, or something that identifies them amongst the chaff, if you want to call it that. And it's the dynamic levels that really sell this game for me, because at the end of the day, there's plenty of twin sticks out there, and there's plenty of decent twin sticks as well. This part of the level, we start going up an elevator. I'm not doing so bad, apart from that, well, apart from that knockdown earlier on, and my chain being fairly crap. But, you know, we're getting there. So yeah, there's not really, as far as I know, I don't think there's any new enemy types in this level. Or maybe I'm just killing them before I get there, but trust me, you'd probably notice if you saw any of the new enemy types. They're fairly recognizable. And they're annoying enough to be unmissable. But this is an interesting little section where you got to go through here, and there's lots of big guys. And oh, that was risky. But yeah, I find, well, the one time I've got the S run on this level has been when I've just gone flat out and run really quickly through the level and basically just powered on through as quickly as I possibly can. So this one seems to be very encouraging for those who wish to basically push and not worry so much about getting lost in tactics and all that kind of thing, just kind of flat out gunplay kind of thing. Oh man, I'm doing terribly actually. Jesus. These freaking levels. I swear, these new levels and the new enemy types and everything are the most frustrating fucking things I have played in this game so far. Which makes sense because they are later levels, like this is getting towards the end of the campaign set, I guess. Fucking hell. So you're going to hear a lot more swearing in future Android Cactus videos, I'm sure. Because it's beginning to really make me swear a lot. Because I don't know, it feels like the combinations of enemies are just overwhelming at times. Especially, this is the point that I was going to bring up in the next new level, because I think it's relevant, and it's one that I find interesting anyway, is I wonder if these later levels are going to be way too hard for low-level players, because I don't consider myself a high-level player, but I do alright on the leaderboards, so I'm definitely not the worst. And they're fucking hard. Like, let's go do Repeater and die a lot. Now this level is... We'll talk about the hardness thing in a bit, but let's talk about this level first because it's a little bit interesting. It's fucking ridiculous as far as difficulty, but the thing I like about it, it's got this kind of Bastion-esque level building mechanic where it kind of, you can see it throwing down tiles as you move through. The problem I have with it is that you can get stuck in areas like I did just then if you don't kill enemies quick enough. And I've had run-throughs of this. There's one of the new enemies, the Reaper. He'll shoot a big laser at you and fuck up your day. And oh, this gets ridiculous towards the end. So again, don't expect any good gameplay in this video because demo purposes only. But yeah, I've had instances where I think the level building mechanic could be improved a little. These guys are another new enemy type called the Bubbler. Mainly because I've found, not because it's difficult or anything like that, like I can accept something being difficult, but the thing that I find frustrating is when different parts of the level either won't build themselves because you've run out of tiles, but they've run out of tiles because there's an enemy sitting off screen somewhere holding up that tile that I can't even access because, yeah, because of the way that it's built. I don't know if I'll be able to make it do that, but yeah. We'll keep playing. Here's those bloody Fidos. Now they will latch onto you. I don't really want to let them do it to show you, but they latch onto you and pull you around the level, so they basically stop you being able to move where you want to move. And that's basically the three main differences with enemies. Let this guy pull us around. See, he'll latch onto us like that. And that can actually be really annoying. You might think, oh, that's not so bad. It is when you're surrounded by a bunch of annoying ass enemies like the Reapers or like the bubble dudes. It's really freaking annoying, and I'm gonna... We also have these fuckers who drop mines, these big dudes. Here we go. Bam! Mine, mine, mine. Which, again, is annoying as hell. See what's going on over there, and I can't get there because I don't have enough tiles. That's a bit shit, as far as I'm concerned. And there's a few things like that. Like, what's going on up the top right of the screen at the moment? Is there something up there? Like, if I run up there, am I going to find something that I missed before? Because that isn't rebuilding itself or destructing itself. Oh, now it is. I really need a battery, otherwise this is going to be even shorter than I was expecting. And that's the problem I have with this level. It doesn't seem... I really like the idea of it, for sure, but it doesn't seem like the level building mechanic has been really finished. Which is a shame, because it seems quite good. Because there's a lot of areas, like, if you're paying attention during this video, there's a lot of times where, like, say I want to run one way, I can't, or like, that square there, why was that left there? I can understand why these squares are left here because there's enemies still there, and I guess that's part of the deal. But then why is this bit up here not going anywhere? And you know, we must remember, folks, this is early access, so we can't expect anything major. As in, if things are broken, fine, that's cool, because there's always a chance to fix them. But that's kind of... let's retry it anyway. Because that's kind of the problem that I'm having with this level. As in, yeah, it's hard as nails and all that, but... hell, like I've said before, I don't have to be good at a game to enjoy it. And I don't mind if it is difficult and challenging. Like, that doesn't ruin my enjoyment. If anything, it enhances it. Because, you know, there's nothing more satisfying than overcoming a difficult challenge. But I'm just going to play through this level quite normally. Like, I'm not going to try and fuck it up. Because trying to fuck it up is... you know, it's not really fair, is it? But I'm going to play through it normally, and essentially what I want you to watch out for is stuff that I'm finding annoying. Like, just then I got crowded by those dudes, but I couldn't move it. I couldn't move anywhere because the level wasn't reforming itself. And I don't know if that's just my expectations that I would expect it to reform itself, but that's not how the mechanic is built. Well, obviously it's not how it's built because it's not happening. But yeah, I wonder if it's a clash between a recognizable mechanic that's been used in other things like Bastion and other games, but working in a different way, you know? It's kind of like inverting your mouse and not having the choice to turn it back. It's like, you recognize the mechanic of being able to look around with the mouse, but it's not working how you expect it to. See, like that guy up there, rewind the video if you want, but I couldn't get to him initially. And that's where I think it's... and essentially this is the problem I have with procedural generation in general, is procedural generation's only as good as its formula. And yeah, it can be a hindrance sometimes when it turns into more annoyance than anything else. And you know, at the end of the day, don't... I know I haven't been very nice, I guess, about this level so far. But hey, this is the whole idea of an early access build, is having people play it and getting their opinions. So, you know, and that's part of buying into an early access build, is getting into this sort of stuff and playing the bad along with the good and that kind of thing. And unfortunately, I would say that that level needs work. Because forget skill level or anything, I have finished it, I'm just not finishing it at the moment because I'm trying to commentate and make points over the top. And it is a tough level, so you've got to concentrate. And as you can see, I've got a B, so I've made it through plenty of times. But the problem I have with it is, especially towards the end as well, with the way the level builds itself, it it doesn't allow for much, I guess, movement. There's a lot of times where you get stuck and you run into things, or you get stuck behind something, or there's because of the enemy combinations at the end where there's lots and lots of enemies and there's lots of different types and they're all annoying as fuck. It really just strips you of all your movement control. And that's fine probably for a lot of people, but for me it's not something I really enjoy, because it's kind of, it's a twin stick. You've got two controls, you know, you've got movement and shooting, you've got a defense and an offense, and that's what it essentially boils down to. So you take one of them away and and then I've got an offense, and that's it, against enemies which are, you know, they're programmed to keep you moving. And they're programmed to just own you if you are stuck in one spot, and that's kind of what happens on that level. So that's why I don't know, I'm a bit on the fence about it. I really like it because it's challenging, and it's again, it's a unique dynamic level, and I really like the way that it rebuilds itself and all that kind of thing. But I have reservations about just how accessible it is and how complete it is. And you know, it's the first release of the white box version of this level, so fuck it. It's the lowest form of it that we've seen. It's only going to get better from here, which is why I say, you know, don't stress about it too much, because at the end of the day, that's early access. It's that's what you get. I guess it's a bit surprising because it's the first new level that I've played that's come out since being in the early access that hasn't been just heaps of fun from the start. So maybe that's why I have this kind of odd perspective on it. But, yeah. They're my thoughts anyway. And hopefully that shows you a little bit about what the game is doing at the moment with the latest update. This video has gone on a lot longer than I wanted it to, but hey, I said it might go a bit longer because we wanted to talk about a few different things in there. But that's all. That's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. And hopefully I'll see you on a high score run soon, but don't hold your breath. Goodbye.